Are you a perfectionist? This is a huge question. Do you think about an archetype and it has to become that way? Do you end up redoing things over and over again? When you care about something, does every little aspect of that matter? Can you find yourself getting stuck when you're missing one tiny piece, even if you don't need it? Are a lot of your dreams about you having to solve something or missing a piece to a puzzle? Perfectionism is one of those main type A traits, and it may not be everywhere. You might only exhibit it in a certain area, to the thing that you really care deeply about. And you might be saying to me, well, Georgia, but that's good. It's good to want to be perfect. And it seems like it, but that's a lie. There's a difference between being exact or being precise, being accurate, and being perfect. Because accurate is just saying a digit or a number or showing things as they are. Perfection is trying to live up to an archetype, something that we've put into our head. And it's truly impossible, but even when it is possible, the amount of time and effort that it takes in order to do that is exhausting. That pressure that we put upon ourselves can really cause us a lot of anxiety, depression, angst, anger, because we're so busy thinking about that perfection, having to do something a certain way, that we don't see the forest for the trees. Because we're spending so much time trying to make that dinner party, that presentation so perfect, we forget about everything else that's around us, or even ourselves. For that person, when you're trying to always be perfect, the first day that you don't have a perfect outfit, or your makeup isn't done, or your suit is not perfectly pressed, or you say something and you say it wrong, everyone else notices because they kind of want to knock you off that pedestal. And that can hurt very deeply. You end up having to have this exhaustive need to keep up to this standard that was already so difficult to live up to. Perfection to me is the P word. You don't want to have to be perfect. You want to be able to be you. And you want to be able to have room to be able to breathe, to make mistakes, to try new things, to experiment. And I often say you have to ask yourself that question of what really is going to happen? Am I going to remember this in a year, in 5, in 10? Is this going to be my life regret that there's a dust bunny on the floor of my house? And if not, is it even worth it? Because in the end, if you're constantly worrying about everything else around you or yourself being perfect, you're not allowing yourself to be able to have that extra time to be able to relax. Because remember, everything that you're doing at any moment, it's coming at the cost of doing something else. And if you're always trying to be perfect, how much fun are you to live with to everyone else around you? Or does everyone else kind of give you space and leave you alone? And then how much fun are you to yourself? And for some people, they may even be procrastinating perfectionists, that they're so worried about failure that they avoid doing something until the last minute or doing it at all because they're so worried about failure. That's also a really difficult type of perfectionist to be. So sometimes you might be avoiding things and thinking that you're not a perfectionist, but you're actually just avoiding it because of how much of a perfectionist you are. Some of the other traits, you're hard on yourself, you have a lot of negative self-talk, you're critical towards the things that you are doing. There's a voice inside your head that is constantly critiquing your behavior or your performance to what it is. And when you make a mistake, does it really hurt? Or does it hurt your ego when someone else points out a mistake that you made? These are all some of the signs that you also may be a perfectionist. And I would say that you want to get rid of it. Why? So that you can breathe, so you can be creative, so you can do what you want, not live inside of a lie. Because remember, perfection is truly impossible. If you're spending all of this time trying to be perfect, one is you're wasting all the time that you could be doing other things with, that you could be risking things, testing things out. So you end up with all that time wasted. But also that negative self-talk, that critical voice is really bad for your self-esteem, because if it's only good if it's perfect, then it's never actually good. And if I'm not doing things well enough and I'm constantly saying that to myself, I end up lowering my own feeling of self-worth and value. Perfectionism is our way of trying to control the world so that bad things don't happen. Because if it's perfect, I won't be judged. This won't be judged. This person won't be unhappy. But that's a lie. And so we end up in this cycle of anxiety, or when we hit learned helplessness because we realize that we can't actually do it perfectly, possibly a depression. And then when we're trying to make it perfect and someone else moves something or touches something and makes it not perfect, we can often be explosive or reactive towards them. And so other people push away. Because of that facade of perfect, people don't feel comfortable around us. They may not share things that they really need to share. It might put undue pressure on everyone else having to live up to our standard of this lie. So when I say that perfectionism is that P word and that we want to let go of it, I mean it. It really will set you free. It'll let you be more things. In the end, for perfectionism, it's usually because we're not really accepting of who we are as a person, that if everyone else knew the truth of how flawed we are as an individual, we would be rejected. It's probably the opposite. They'd probably like us more because of all of our imperfections. When you allow yourself to be real, it's really freeing when you no longer have to worry if people will see through that false mask. So hopefully this answers a little bit if you are a perfectionist. And if you are, hopefully you allow a little bit of your flaws and your true self shine through. And I'm going to be doing more reaction and psychology videos and much more. And you can watch them all ad-free, sponsor-free, like all my videos, all on Nebula. And it's not just my videos. There's also Nando V Movies, Medlife Crisis, Renee Ritchie, MKBHD, Cinema Wins, and many more. And all ad-free, sponsor-free on Nebula, and bundled in for free when you sign up with today's sponsor, CuriosityStream, at curiositystream.com/Georgia Dow, or click on the link below. And right now, because you watch this channel, you can get CuriosityStream for 26% off, less than $15 a year, less than a new shirt, and that's for the whole year, and it includes their thousands of amazing documentaries and series, like Redesign My Brain, Make Me Smarter. And don't we all want that? Tom Sampson puts brain training to the test. A pioneer in neuroplasticity revolution, Michael Merzenish mentors Todd to show him how to radically improve his cognition by turbocharging his brain, and the many different ways that you can do it. You end up supporting educational creators directly for 26% off CuriosityStream, less than $15 a year, and Nebula is bundled in for free. Yes, free. Just click on the link below or go to curiositystream.com/Georgia Dow. Thank you so much to CuriosityStream and Nebula for sponsoring this video. And hopefully you liked this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe.